wanna do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you wanna do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Come?
Alright, I'll do my own bits myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road.
Hey Dave,
Yes.
how did Dracula pay for goods and services?
He had a pretty good credit score and a pretty good relationship with the local people that he could exchange goods for services.
Please, that's all establishment stuff. He was into cryptocurrency. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I'm Boater.
I'm Dave, man.
And boy, do we have stuff to go about with that, but we'll get to that later. I hope everyone's doing well. We've got I hate to be that guy, but we have a real humdinger of a show ahead of us for you tonight. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be fun. And I guess instead of just kind of beating around the bush, I'm gonna start with someone who was banned on Twitch. How's that sound?
Perfect.
If you're new here tonight, welcome. Nerd Glasses Podcast. We talk gaming news, but also just kind of what are we playing, what are we looking forward to, what are we watching, nerd stuff. So welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I'm not going to introduce myself again because we already did that gag. Whoopsie doodles. Anyway, Twitch bans. David Pakman, who is a right-wing political commentator who streams on Twitch, has shows on YouTube, is on Twitter, and he's on a bunch of different stuff. He was banned from Twitch because he was covering a trial that I'm not going to go into the specifics of that has to do with murder, and he says that he was banned because he got a lot of people like hate rating and hate reporting his stream. But he also admitted to showing some graphic images that were presented as evidence during the trial. The nature of which I do not know, and I did not particularly care to look up, such to say that if that's the case, Twitch probably found them objectionable.
Well, yeah, if they're gonna peg you for that specific violation, knowing all of the things that do go on Twitch, you have to have shown something that involved either an in real life dead person, or
something sexually explicit, which I don't think is the case in this particular trial. But of course, he's like, oh, but video games show this kind of stuff all the time. Twitch makes a very clear delineation between what you can show in a game and cannot show in real life.
Also, Boater, let's just take a pulse for a second. Are video games real life?
No, they are not.
Oh!
As long as we're being serious and not memey, no, they are not. So,
I didn't ask if video games are life.
Oh, yes. Like Shrek. Shrek is life. Shrek is love. Anyway, yes, that's David Pakman, who was banned from Twitch. The terms of service still exist, even if you're covering something that is important.
You violated the terms of service. Gotta... You die in the game, you die for real.
Well, he died on Twitch as far as Twitch is concerned. I believe he has a 30-day ban, too, which is a lot. But I could be wrong about that one. Anyway, that's someone who's banned in the last 7 days. Dave, what do we have to look forward to in the next 7 days?
Well, let's cue up the Nerd Vision.
It hasn't happened yet, not until you hit one of those buttons.
But
I appreciate your enthusiasm.
We've got 3 games that I'm very much looking forward to, and let's get right into them. Our first game releasing today for the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, the Windows computers, and the Xbox Series X/S. That's right. You can see the T-Rex tossing around the Velociraptors.
So,
Is
The
it a
classic-
T-Rex VR game where you get to stomp around?
Oh, I wish. No, it's something a little bit different because it's a taking on the business simulator in its Jurassic World Evolution 2.
And I played the first Jurassic World Evolution, really enjoyed it, even to the point of like getting the DLC that is, here's the Jurassic Park scenario and everything like that. It was really well done. It was one of those games that took over my life for about a month. I haven't been back to it since.
Yeah.
But
As most
went
business
through-
sims do.
I went through all the campaign and then did some free play stuff on stream a few times. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Do you know what's new in the sequel? Because there was a lot of DLC. I still have some wish listed that I never get around back to.
So this game, as opposed to taking place on an island or a different place, this one specifically is inside the continental United States. And so you can go to different biomes and things. As you can see in the trailer, there's a snow one, there was a beachfront one, there was waterfront ones. They also added a campaign storyline where you do moments from the film franchises. The thing that ties it in for me is they got a couple of the cast to reprise their roles to introduce it. So in and of itself,
so I remember Jurassic World Evolution. I did have some people come. I think I had Jeff Goldblum come back and had a few others come back as well. I don't really enjoy games that are like, hey, let's retread the same thing that the movie did or whatever. I like the ones, not as a universal rule, but in this, that takes place in the world but kind of lets you do your own thing, a bit of your own storyline rather than being beholden to what happened in the movie.
Yeah.
It can be fun to play through movie scenarios, but like a Star Wars game, for instance, I enjoy a lot more when it's telling its own story rather than like, hey kids, let's go back to the Battle of Hoth.
We fool ourselves into believing
but I mean, it'll still be cool. It's interesting to see like if that'll be in the main campaign or like side scenarios, whatever. But basically, it looks like same thing but more. I'm seeing more customization of buildings.
yes.
Yeah,
And
look like a
less
little bit of
less
work.
need of day one patchy for dinosaur behaviors, if you remember that stuff when the first one came out.
I didn't get into the game until quite a bit later.
Good, because then when Evolution first came out, yikes!
Pretty sure BD Wong was also in the first. Yes, in some of the expansions he was brought back.
Yeah.
I forget if he was in the base game. Might have been.
In passing, his voice was used in the thing, but in the expansions, there was.
I feel like in the base game it wasn't him, it was an impressionist, and then he was brought in to voice act for the expansions. Again, I could be wrong.
Either way, Jurassic World Evolution, if you're a fan of Jurassic Park, do you like this sort of stuff? These games will do it for you. They are not a game that's going to... Let's put it this way. When the tread wears off of it...
If you like, Parkitect and Roller Coaster Tycoon and everything like that, and you have a passing interest in dinosaurs, this is for you.
When the tread wears off of it, you won't come back. You're not gonna... These games are fun, but the average person moves on from them, and they move on from them.
Yeah, it's like maybe every 5 years I would get the itch, I would come back and I'd play it. Like Roller Coaster Tycoon, I come back to every 5 or 6 years. So, all right, cool. So that is Jurassic World Evolution 2. What else have we got coming out?
Looking forward to the 11th, we have a double header of releases, and these games are big news. Groundbreaking, earth-shaking, new, genre-defining, and all important additions to the gaming franchises.
Dave, this looks familiar.
It should look familiar. But these games are going to change the way games are played. They're going to truly grow the brands.
I get it. It's Skyrim again, but this looks really familiar. Like I've seen this before.
Yes, you absolutely should have. Because the trailer here, this one, is the PlayStation 3 trailer from 10 years ago, because on the 11th, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Anniversary Edition. It's 10 years old, baby!
And it's the same game!
This
the
one...
Anniversary Edition expands on the Complete Edition. It like patches in, it adds a few things. If you own... Is it the Complete Edition?
It's going to build off of the Complete Edition, It's going to add 500 Creation Club elements. So, for example, the things that people modded, but these are 500 of them that definitively are going to work and not crash your system. Don't worry about it. They are also adding something that I absolutely must play. They're adding fishing, and they're adding aquariums. That's right, baby. You can have my money. These are coming out on the 11th for the PlayStation 5.
6. Just make 6.
They're coming out for the PlayStation 5, the Series X, the Series S on November 11th. 10 years,
This is the
3 generations, and counting.
This is the 6th full release of Skyrim. 6 releases when they could have just made Game 6.
But I must ask you, sir.
But so many people are gonna go ahead and be like, oh my god, it's Skyrim again for my current consoles? Take my $60!
But I must ask you, Boater. Nice day for fishing, ain't it? Exactly.
What else have we got?
Well,
I gotta go get my pen.
another genre-defining, era-breaking, mold-shattering game coming out. Well, this time, it's Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. That's right, baby! On November 11th, Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, the Series XS, Android, and iOS. You know who's not included in this? Oh.
Uh-oh.
Looks like we'll have to put in a call. Stadia may be dead, because it's literally the only thing that's not getting this remaster.
I'm not getting anything from the Life Alert. Hold on, we'll send someone.
But as you can see in the trailer,
It's easy. Haven't you ever seen a movie?
as you can see in the trailer, they did a lot of work on overhauling the graphics and updating the gameplay from Grand Theft Auto 3 to bring it back to similar gameplay styles to the later games.
So something that I think I still have it here. Something that was a table topic before we started writing it down was Take-Two Interactive taking on RE3 Project and GTA Underground efforts to mod these old games into the Grand Theft Auto 5 engine.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, we're pretty sure we know what's happening. And now, I mean, like, it had been announced before, but now, yeah, this is the fruits of that labor.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Dudicker is saying it looks like GTA 4. Yeah, like...
That is the bar they brought it to. They brought it to 4, not to 5.
Yeah, because they didn't redo... It looks like they didn't redo any of the models.
Nope.
Like, it looks like we have the same polygon count.
Like it's a bad thing.
Maybe a little.
Cell shading they worked on.
Yeah, so
lighting.
they worked big on lighting engine and probably upscale filters on a bunch of stuff. Like, it's not the greatest re-release that I've seen.
But Boater, don't worry,
It looks
because
like a game... Yeah, it looks like GTA 4, maybe.
but don't worry, Boater. The Nintendo Switch is getting gyroscopic aim and touchscreen support. What specifically touchscreen support? The answer I got was shut up, kid, and buy the game. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited for it just because I like the old Grand Theft Autos. I also think that we can potentially bring back a whole generation of blaming everything on that. But those are the 3 games. Those are the 3 that I discovered that are coming out in the next 7 days. As always, more new and fun coming out there for you.
There's a ton. We only hit on the few kind of big ones that we like to talk about, but yeah, that's what we That's what we've got coming out. So, Dave, we have a fair amount of news to go through, but before we do, just barely off frame in front of me, we have some.
Here, just pass me some of them.
Okay.
I'll hold up some.
Okay. So yesterday on Behind the Counter is actually the second time that they did a taste test of a bunch of different Oreo flavors. You know, I'm just going to set them down. They're in frame here. Just make a stack of Oreo. No touchy. So they did this about a month ago, and we ended up not also doing the taste test. I liked a few of them, like the birthday cake one, carrot cake. There were some good ones in there. There was some mixed reception. Steve liked all of them because I think Steve will eat anything you put in front of him, whether or not it's intended to be food. And then they were a little divisive with Dan and Mike.
And Nico.
Yes. And with these, I think Steve liked all of them again. And I think Mike liked one or two of them. Dan, of course, didn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to taste test some Oreos. This is weird and subjective and not a great taste test because we don't have like milk here as a palate cleanser, but we're just going to go for it. The first one that we're going for, Dave, what flavor is this?
Chocolate marshmallow.
Chocolate marshmallow.
It smells like Play-Doh.
I guess, yeah, it smells. I disagree. I wouldn't say like Play-Doh. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe shouldn't have done that all at once just for sake of talking, but
Are you tasting the marshmallow pieces?
a little. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. I like that. I've had a few things that are chocolate marshmallow flavored, and that is right in line with chocolate marshmallow flavor. It's like when you get something that's strawberry flavored, and it doesn't taste like strawberries, but it tastes like strawberry quick.
So do we like them?
Yeah, I'm going to give that one a thumbs up. Next, we've got Java chip
Ooh.
flavored cream.
Wow. There were more of the marshmallow chocolate
Ooh.
ones eaten.
Ooh. So I'm not a coffee person. This tastes very strongly of coffee.
Ah. Flavors like this are exactly in my wheelhouse. I love coffee. I love coffee flavored things.
The smell is so strong that I don't get much in the way of taste. I'm just getting more of the smell. Which again, I'm not a fan of coffee. I'm not even really a fan of how it smells. So the taste being relatively inoffensive compared to the smell is fine. This one gets a from me. Maybe a slight
But you
thumbs
wouldn't
down.
buy these.
No, God,
Okay.
no.
So, actually, let's keep them over here by me because I will eat them.
There you go.
How about chocolate peanut butter pie?
Steve stating, I'm a happy member of the Clean Plate Club for 23 years.
Ooh, these ones a little bit different. They've got
Yeah,
the
so these
white
have
cookie.
a split. I'm actually going to see if I can... Yeah, there we go. We have a split of the cream. 1/2 chocolate, 1/2 peanut butter. Or peanut butter pie, I suppose. Does that show? Yeah, it sort of does. Put that back together. Make sure you bite down the split. Or just... I'm going to shove the whole thing in my mouth. I have high hopes for this one. Well, smell. That's peanut butter smell. I would almost think that... Is that just straight up peanut butter? No. That's their cream with a lot of peanut butter taste.
Nutter Butter called. They want their flavor back.
What was that?
Nutter Butter called. They want their flavor back.
Yeah, it's I'm not getting a whole lot of chocolate. I'm getting mostly peanut butter. I'm gonna give it a yes though. That's a no from you. All right.
That's a no for me, dog.
You Steve called it the most underwhelming of the 6. Speaking of peanut butter, we have peanut butter flavor. So this will actually be interesting to taste those two back to back.
Well, especially because this one actually has the...
Yeah, this is back to the standard Oreo chocolate cookie wafers. So this is just a peanut butter. That's definitely a stronger peanut butter smell. Probably just because it's the same filling, but the whole thing. Whereas on the last one, it was peanut butter on half and chocolate on the other half, but the peanut butter is such a stronger taste.
They did them back to back to the other order.
Almost doesn't feel as strong. I wonder how much peanut butter flavor is in the wafers on the other one. Either that or it's just because having it second, it doesn't taste as strong as the first bite.
Could be. Not a fan. Once
Not
again,
a fan.
congratulations, you made Nutter Butters.
Again, I'll give it another thumbs up.
How about chocolate hazelnut? Chocolate hazelnut.
Chocolate hazelnut. I'm not necessarily a hazelnut person. I'm ambivalent to it.
Do these look fancier? No. Just the light.
The cream is applied a little fatter. Like it's the same amount of cream, but it doesn't go all the way around, so it rises up a little more. Smells fine. I'm not a fan. I think just because I don't really like hazelnut.
This is a very earthy taste very fast.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, it's like Nutella, Steve says, and yeah, I mean, like, I'm not a Nutella fan. And
You know what, though? It's not necessarily for me, but I like that it actually... Like, that's actually
true,
hazelnut.
actually, that has a flavor other than sugar.
Yeah. Like, this is actually like hazelnut. Like, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not for me, though. I'm gonna give that a pass. Yeah, well, we'll tap it. Put it sideways.
Yeah.
Tap it like a magic card. Last one we've got is caramel coconut. Okay, yeah. Did you say caramel or caramel?
It depends on what context. The place is caramel. The food itself is caramel.
Huh.
And I only say it that way because the Boy Scout troop from Caramel hated when we called them Caramel. And so forevermore, just drive down to Westchester. It was at the town of Caramel.
I feel like there was it's like, oh, like caramel corn, but caramel apple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's like it
Oh,
depends
yeah.
on what the food is.
I mean, caramel ice cream, caramel drizzle, caramel dip.
Okay. Anyway, whatever it is, it's also got coconut in it, which part of me is like, ew, no, and then I'm like, no, but I really like Samoas, which are, coconut cookies. So we'll see.
Also, if you have Almond Joy or Mounds at home, I'll take them. I'll take them for you. I promise.
Those I don't like. That's why I got the idea that I don't like coconut. All right.
I'm not gonna lie. I hate caramel.
I like caramel.
Once again, this one tastes like
That is very coconutty.
caramel and coconut.
To the extent that I'm not going to finish this cookie. That's very coconutty in a not pleasant way. I'm going to go get a bottle of water to rinse with. Would you like something?
Oh. Now I'm gonna spend the rest of the program licking my chops, just so we can be like, what the hell was Dave doing this week?
Awesome. I'll be right back. And toss this half the cookie. That is the hardest pass from me, dog.
While Boater's gone, let's just really quick go back to the Skyrim thing, because I don't know about you guys, but there are gimmicks that games add that, man, do they do it for me. And fishing in a game absolutely is the thing that like carries it off for me. But I'm gonna give that one. I'm gonna give that one by with a thumbs up. It's clearly a thumbs down from Boater because he's throwing it out. But it'll be interesting to see how we stacked up with the rest of the Insane Games TV broadcasting crew. We should probably have some of our behind-the-scenes folks try it as well. Ah! But yeah, fishing mini games, fishing mechanics. If you add them to your games, Dave will play them.
They show up in the weirdest games. Absolutely. Okay. So Dave, after our show last week, Tuesday, around 8 o'clock, finishing up, actually, maybe it was very, very early on Wednesday, but we talked at length last week about Vicarious Visions getting renamed, losing the Vicarious Visions name, probably becoming like Blizzard Albany or something like that. But we knew back in August that the former head of Vicarious Visions, Jen O'Neill, became one of the co-leads of Blizzard after the previous one had stepped down due to you know. Of course, we found out early Wednesday morning, that Jen O'Neill, the former head of Vicarious Visions and promoted to co-head of Blizzard in August, is going to leave Blizzard by the end of the year. Her co-lead, Mike Ibarra, will take over her responsibilities immediately. I forget where Ibarra came from. If he was internal, I think he was internal Blizzard. I forget exactly where he was brought into that role from. And I'm not gonna lie, this feels shady as hell. Because she leaves and she's this saying this whole um I'm not doing this because I am without hope for Blizzard. Quite the opposite. Um, it's I'm doing this to further women in games at Blizzard and everywhere. Which, can't you do that really well from a leadership position at Blizzard? What it feels like is that uh, she was like, "All right, cool. You have me in charge of things. Here's how I would like to do things in order to make Blizzard a better workplace, more inclusive, safer for all of our employees." And then the board or Activision or people just below her were like, "We can't do that. No, those are changes we can't do. That's just that we're not going to do that." Um, and not being able to affect those changes on her own, even from that position. This is all speculation, by the way, mine as well as others. It feels like she's like, I'm not going to sit here and let you be like, of course we're making strides. Look at the woman of color at the head of the company. She's, it could be that she's like, I'm not going to be a token figurehead for you to say, oh, we're making progress when you're actually doing nothing. And so she's leaving, and probably before, well, let's see, she's leaving at the end of the year, so I'm sure that by April we'll hear about what new company she's founding. Hopefully we'll have a cool new Albany-based game studio around this time next year. That's all speculation. All that's confirmed is that she's leaving by the end of the year, and Mike Ibarra, who was co-lead, will be taking over all those responsibilities.
Hopefully, this is one of those things of the burnout from the require. Because think about that job from the day they took it over till the end of the contract.
And she was probably like the head of Vicarious Visions during the merger process. That had to do a lot too.
Yes,
but
so that's a lot.
It's 3 months later to take that leadership position and be like, I'm excited to see what we can do. For 3 months later to be like, I'm a dip. Just feels like, yeah, I know that there's a lot of work that goes into that. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure she's been doing great stuff up to now, but it feels like there's more that she wanted to do that her hands were tied on. Again, speculation. We may never know.
I'm hoping it's literally just burnout from being a member of management in Activision Blizzard and being the head of Vicarious Visions and doing. Because think about that, head of Vicarious Visions got absorbed into Activision Blizzard almost the same year that they were absorbed. All of this stuff started coming to a head.
That same year, because it was confirmed February or so. Yeah, same calendar year. They released Tony Hawk 1 and 2. They get pulled into Blizzard. They release
got assigned to the Diablo 2.
Because again, Diablo 2 Resurrected was primarily a Vicarious Visions thing. And sometimes you see directors of companies leaving after a big product ships, and maybe that's something that, like, they probably were working on D2R since well before it was announced. They have, not probably, they have. So possibly she was just in it until that got released, and then she was planning on leaving. Who knows? Again, this is a month and a half after release, so it's still a little odd time window to announce that.
Yeah.
But there could be a lot of things. All I will say is, Ms. O'Neill, I hope that you do fabulously wherever you go. I look forward to seeing what you continue to do, representing underrepresented workers in the games industry. So, and we really want to know what you do next, and we hope you'll give us an exclusive when you figure it out.
So another update on the Acti-Blizz lawsuit and things.
Yep.
But this is actually a positive and something that's
Because
showing.
we had a big positive thing last week when we had that letter from Bobby Kotick.
Yes. So, good old Bobo put out some words.
By the way,
and
thank you so much for showing his one scene in Moneyball to me. That was redonkulous.
the face he was making in Moneyball was just the face you probably saw when he was like, "The investors are what?" So there's some benefits coming to the employees of Activision
not
Blizzard.
to employees, to contract workers. Well, temporary employees.
Yes.
But
So the employees
to
that
subcontract workers.
Yeah, the employees that definitely don't catch coverage, but do work on the games that we do so love and play.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because something you see a lot is that a lot of stuff gets subcontracted out, and it means that the companies get to skip out on actually providing the full benefits that they should.
yeah, you're hired between the months of May and June, and or July, and you're gonna work 7 days a week for those 3 months.
We're getting you in from some hiring agency.
Yeah.
They're when we pay them for you, they're the ones that pay you. Take it up with them. I don't know.
So
All that garbage.
as of yesterday, all temporary workers will receive. They use different vernacular, but it is.
Yes, I think they use temporary workers. The reports that I saw referred to them as contract workers, but yes, temporary workers is what
Yes.
they use. So we'll make sure to use that.
All temporary workers will receive the Thanksgiving and winter breaks as PTO, paid time off.
Because previously there are reports of them being forced to take those holidays without getting paid, and considering that they were underpaid and such before, that could have a couple weeks off without pay could put them in rough financial straits.
Speaking of which, they're increasing all minimum hourly rate to all temporary employees to $17 an hour.
For reference, California's minimum wage just went up to 15, so good. Not just minimum, but a little bit more.
And because it's temp work, it's per diem, so it's not necessarily beholden to,
True.
in some cases,
True.
the minimum wage.
Yeah, the contract work is another way that they can. That's another thing they can skip out on with that. So
on January 1st, 2022, all temp workers will also receive 13 paid holidays each year.
Nice.
Which is good, which doesn't include Thanksgiving and winter breaks that the studio takes. Our agency partners have agreed to match the sick. This is complicated, but it's very important because it's very big. And I got really excited when I read this one. Our agency partners have agreed to match the sick paid time off that we offer to Blizzard's temporary employees, increasing the number of accruable sick time to 9 days each year.
Okay. So just about 2 weeks of sick time.
That you can bank and keep and carry over into next year or the year after that. So, you have a year, you crush it. You don't have your weekends are free, or you don't have this, that, and the other.
You're working from home and you're not going out and getting sick from anyone.
Yep. So,
Dave, when was the last? I don't know. When was the last time you had a cold?
a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, bad example.
I'm still working with kids. God bless them. But...
I was like, I'm gonna ask. I don't know if I should. I'll try. Like a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm not getting like the normal colds that I used to because masks and distancing and stuff. Who knew?
Why not make it 14 days, Dudicrous? And I bet it has a lot to do with the fact that they probably, I'm going to guess, on average, the average rollover for temp agencies and things is 3. Mm-hmm. The agency goes, yeah, every year you get 3, and then we'll cover it, but we're not paying you beyond that. I did do a little bit of googly researching. I also, when I was in California, that's what I was told, that I would get a year, 3 sick days, and that's it. And then they are going to begin a new career growth and learning program as part of a temp workers development. Additional information will be forthcoming on that, but what can be read between the lines on that is, hey, you're a temp worker because you don't have this certification, or you can't work in this field, or your work doesn't go into the projects we're doing next. But if you take these courses with us or do these trainings, you can.
Yeah. So that's really cool. Basket Case of Vermont, by the way, thank you so much for the follow. Says the regular flu was pretty much gone in 2020 from all the masks and such. Yeah, way down. And I guess we'll see what happens with it this year. So, still get your flu shot. Anyway. But yeah, like the training opportunities and stuff is really exciting. The opportunity to keep people on, even if like temporary workers versus employed workers is still a weird split sometimes, but being able to keep people on to keep institutional memory of people
Yes.
is going to, like, it's wise because it will help to keep costs of games down because you're not having to have more inexperienced people and trying to get them up to speed while you're working on the project. You can have people that are more tied into it. Again, you should just hire them, in my opinion, but what do I know? I'm not a multi-billion-dollar company.
It's also a good thing, and it's showing that momentum and ground are being gained because this isn't the full-time contracted people that work for Activision Blizzard and they have an office there. This is the people that get hired for your Diablo remastered, your Tony Hawk's Pro Skater remaster, your update to Hearthstone, the Blizzard, the next big Blizzard updates coming, Overwatch updates coming on. Let's get 3 extra coders to do this, and we'll only hire them for amount of time. Like, this is going to be big, and this is showing.
And I really like that a better ABK, the not union, but honestly, it's basically a union almost, is representing them as well. It's not just employees; it's everybody that works for them. They're doing things really well right now, and other industry groups are modeling their workers' rights groups based on what a better ABK is doing.
At the end of this, unfortunately, representation is leaving management and leadership, but it does feel like Bobby Kotick really wants to get added to our Christmas card list by doing all this good. You know what? Maybe next year, pal. I'm just saying, keep up stuff like this. You'll be regularly invited to be on Nerd Glasses.
So I have one more thing about Activision Blizzard, but I'm going to go on a tangent first. I forgot to write this down, but
no worries.
Ubisoft announces that it's going to be raising pay to stop developers from leaving. So they've also announced that. The problem is that Ubisoft's wage increases, salary increases, whatever, are being applied in an unbalanced manner. So people at the top are getting a 20% increase, and people at the bottom are getting a 5% increase, which is just furthering the wage gap and is the exact opposite of what is needed. It's like...
Ubisoft.
Okay, so to be fair, that is Ubisoft Canada. That is not all of Ubisoft, that is Ubisoft Canada. But still, there's a lot of dev studios in Canada that represents. I'll see if I can... Whoop, not there. Come on, over... where did that window go? It disappeared.
While you're looking for your window, credit to that bringing the story to Nerd Glass's attention, Sustaina, for the previous tale about some enactment and extra benefits being added to the employees. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah. According to the worker group A Better Ubisoft, again, modeling a lot there, and that's a really cool unity thing to be like, no matter who you work for, being represented by something like that. It's a neat movement thing. Anyway, junior staff will receive a 5 to 7% increase, while most senior staff could see their pay increase by up to 20%. This is from Kotaku, so that I cite my source here. A lower level developer might see their $50,000 a year salary increase by $2,500, while a higher level developer making $100,000 could see as much as $20,000 in additional pay. Now, obviously, this is developers, still boots on the ground level, not necessarily how much is the CEO giving as a wage increase, but still probably not great.
Yeah.
So that's what Ubisoft is doing right now, and it's like, ooh, everything Blizzard does, you can do worse.
You can do worse. Anything. Ooh, and people died. Ugh. Please don't outdo that. Please. Please.
Anyway, one more thing with Blizzard that I've got.
Can you say it like Grandpa from the Jackie Chan Adventures?
No.
One more thing. There you go.
Thank you. Blizzard's monthly active users from last month is down 13% compared to this time last year. Now, there's a lot of factors in play here. Number one, what we would, of course, like to say causality instead of correlation is all the stuff going on with the lawsuit. Neither of us have played Activision or Blizzard games, despite kind of wanting to. Despite really wanting to.
Sweet Overwatch, I miss you, but
So, that's a reason, certainly, but we don't know necessarily how much that's contributing. there haven't been any big Blizzard releases aside from Diablo 2 Resurrection, which is like, well, it's Diablo 2. I could still play Diablo 2 before, but now I can play it prettier. I mean, I'm sure it's sold well. I'm sure it's doing all right. Whatever. Um, a big thing that numbers for Blizzard comes from is World of Warcraft. There hasn't really been a big expansion for World of Warcraft recently, and a lot of users that were playing it have kind of flocked to Final Fantasy XIV and to a lesser extent New World. Like they went to New World, they were like, "This is fun for a little bit." Then they went back to Final Fantasy XIV.
The people that weren't able to play New World all day uninterrupted then stopped playing New World because they didn't want to wait 35, 40 minutes to get put back into the lobby.
Yeah.
Was a lot of what I read and what I've seen of people who played New World and stopped.
I saw a really great quote. Someone had said that, wow, New World really stands to take a lot of players away from Final Fantasy XIV. And someone was like, that is the best compliment you could have ever given Final Fantasy XIV. Because WoW wasn't mentioned at all in any of that. So WoW's numbers are probably down. And then again, this time last year, not that we're not still in the middle of a pandemic, but we were a lot more conscious of it last year. A lot more people were still working from home or just still furloughed from their jobs and not employed. So a lot more people had time to be gaming. And we're seeing less of that this year. So there's a lot of reasons that they could be down. But still, 13% is 1/8. One out of every 8 people playing a Blizzard game last year, statistically, are not playing it this year. So for whatever reason, that's a number that's interesting to me.
Two
Anything
of two
more?
Nerd Glasses hosts don't play Activision Blizzard games, but would when you fix it, Bobby.
Anything else I can do for you?
Let me play Overwatch again without feeling crushing guilt and horror.
Bobby Kotick face.
That was so good.
I should have gotten that clip. I should have put that clip on our thing. Maybe,
You know what?
Maybe next
For
week.
next week. For next week.
It's gonna be eternally applicable through at least the end of the year.
It'll be eternally because we can think about like if one of us runs aground on a storyline, like, and then we. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Yeah, or just we have that like awkward pause. And just boop.
Done.
All right, I'll
Boom.
get that ready to go.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else Activision Blizzard, or shall we move on? Now that we got like 15 minutes left in the show.
Just no. Just Bobby. You're almost on a Christmas card list. You can almost come hang out on Nerd Glasses with us. So balls in your court, pal.
I'm gonna. Why don't you take one because I have to talk later on.
So, Bodie, do you ever play the Metal Gear Solid games that me, Mike, and Tom love and Dan love so damn much?
I did not.
Okay. Well, you know what? If you went on your Xbox 360, your Nintendo 3DS, or your PlayStation 3, right now, you couldn't because they are removed.
Right.
Because, as announced by our friend...
Now, again, if you have the game already downloaded, you can still play it. They're not taking that away.
Yes.
You can't get it off the store. Right
Our
now.
friends at Konami announced that they are currently working on renewing licenses for select historical archive footage used in-game. Therefore, we have made a temporary decision to begin suspending the sale of Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, and all products that include these games from digital storefronts globally starting from November 8th, 2021. So as of yesterday, temporarily, they are saying, are removed PlayStation 3 Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty HD, PlayStation 3 Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater HD Edition, PlayStation 3 Metal Gear Solid HD Edition, Vita Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty HD Edition, Vita Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Edition, Vita Metal Gear Solid HD Collection, the NVIDIA Shield Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 for Shield TV, GOG Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance, 3DS Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3D, and the 360 Metal Gear Solid HD Collection, which includes 2 and 3. And the PlayStation Now Metal Gear Solid HD Collection.
It's kind of like how we've seen games that are no longer for sale because of their soundtrack license
Like Alan Wake.
expiring. Yep. Which eventually they did renew when it's back up. But because of how is a trademark or copyright? I want to say it's trademarks. I don't know. Those two were very distinct legally and have very distinct purposes, and I can't for the life of me think which is which. but basically,
Continue on with your idea. I'll look up the
whoever
difference.
rights ownership, you know, they license the use of that for the game for a period of 10 years, 20 years, whatever. Probably like 5 years, honestly. Because at the time, are you really expecting to keep selling the game after that? And then they renewed it for another 5, then they renewed it for another 5, etc. And this is just another renewal thing, and it's taking longer probably because all of the offices that would deal with that are backed up because COVID.
Copyrighted.
Copyright, thank
You
you.
copyright historical footage.
So, yeah, it's a similar kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
In Metal Gear Solid 3, they did have historical footage of a lot of different things. They dealt with the Berlin Wall. They dealt with all these ideas and things like that. So I'm willing to bet that because they used the likeness of our Presidente at the time, Ronnie Reagan, well, you're going to have to go back to the old historical archives and get the permission stamped.
Well, it's like in our very intro video, Homefront uses archive footage of Hillary Clinton when she was Secretary of State. And that's the kind of thing that is probably licensed from a news group. You can find it in the credits. Credits for games are like 25 minutes long. It's ridiculous.
Thank you very much to Sustaina for bringing that story to my attention yesterday, and thank you very much, Kotaku, for sending me in an email this morning specifically. They're like, stories that might interest you, and I was like, this would have, but someone beat you to the punch.
Let's see. Game Grumps played Sonic Colors, and the credits for that game are like 35 minutes long. So they were just having to fill 35 minutes of time after they finished the game. Like 25 minutes into the episode, they finished it. The video is an hour and 5 minutes long.
They always show all the credits?
I don't think they always do, but someone said, stay through the credits, they're long. So the music goes for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then there's just nothing. And they're just like, oh my god.
It just drops?
There's just, the music ends, and it doesn't bring in more music. It's
That's
still
ridiculous!
this interactive credits of just jumping Sonic, side-scrolling as names come up as rings.
That's hysterical.
These credits are so long, but that was like a parody of it. Anyway, I'm sure within those credits you could have found, well, I don't think Sonic licensed any historical footage, but still, you get my drift. That would have been funny.
If only, Dude Icarus, if only Aaron could be funny for more than 30 minutes. Boom!
Wow.
Wow.
Harsh.
Hot take.
Also, there's 2 of them, so yeah, they can continue to be funny bouncing off of each other. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Game Grumps today. I'm going to skip this report of money laundering through Twitch and relegate that to tabled topics. And I'm going to go on to NFTs.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Dave, give me your strength. Otherwise, I'm just going to speak demonic.
Hang on, here, Steve, hold up your hands, give him your strength.
Okay, we're going to talk NFTs. Thank you for your strength, everybody. Of which there are 2 topics. First, Square Enix is looking to go more heavily into NFTs. They already partnered with Double Jump's Tokyo. They had already done an intro kind of thing of it before. They don't say anything about what NFTs are actually going to do inside their games other than BS about how it will, quote, give players control over their digital assets they earn or gain through their participation in the games. They also claim that players will retain ownership of their assets and even bring them across games. That's not how things work. Like, that's not how things at all can work in games. In order for it to be meaningful, it needs to have scarcity. If you have 100,000 people playing a game, you need to have 100,000 different unique things, and they need to be unique enough for it to actually matter. This morning, I read a well-written, if first draft and not proofread, like just get this up there, 10,000 word article on Medium that someone wrote on how NFTs in games just can't work, and he doesn't go into the specifics of like he doesn't talk about the ecological impact, but he's like, here's why it doesn't work in games. I'm not going to try to recap it. He did a great job talking about it. Everything that I see, like, he could have written that as a response to this very statement. because there was just so much here that now that I've read that article, I'm like, that's bullshit. That's not how it works. You are just trying to fleece the more idiotic of your customers for more cash before the NFT market crashes. Anything to add to Square Enix trying to get into that?
Please don't make Blitzball NFTs. Please.
See,
Please.
it's interesting. When I think Square Enix, I don't think Final Fantasy. Like I see that 100%, but I think I think Deus Ex first. Because like Deus Ex
Really?
Human Revolution was Square Enix. Like that's probably the Square Enix game that I played the most. It's Eidos, published by Square Enix. Or Eidos.
I think it's Eidos. I think you were
Eidos?
right on the first shot. But
Yeah. And then like the new Tomb Raider games are published by Square Enix as well. But anyway, don't do it.
No Blitzball. No Hitman. Don't do it.
Yeah, Hitman.
Don't do it.
And they weren't the only ones this week. Give me strength. Give me strength. Thank you.
Yes,
Strength.
Steve. Yes. Immediately off camera.
Anyway, I'm like, yeah, if you want to read that article, I posted it to the Nerd Glasses channel on Discord. Speaking of Discord, Discord is also toying with cryptocurrency and NFTs. CEO Jason Citron teased a screenshot of a Discord beta that looks like a crypto wallet. This is in addition to about 3 months ago, there was a survey that they sent around that is making the rounds around Twitter again. A survey that is trying to get people hyped for NFTs. That starts off with the question, how familiar are you with NFTs? What's an NFT? I know enough to think they're cool. I've bought and sold one NFT. I'm a pro. I collect and trade NFTs regularly. There is no option for I know enough to know that they're awful, and I know enough to know that you're awful for even thinking about it. Those are not options. They should be. In response to that making the rounds again on Twitter, a lot of people are canceling their Discord Nitro subscriptions. Like someone's like, yeah, I manage a server of 1,000 people. Nitro is instrumental to me being able to manage that. Not anymore. It's gone because people don't want their subscription money to go into a scam. I've mentioned before that I have cryptocurrency. Earlier this year, I was like, oh, I'm going to look into that. And when Dogecoin blew up, I was like, all right, cool, I'm going to do this. Let's see where it goes. I cannot, in good conscience, still have money in my crypto wallet. If I can right now, I'm going to sell it all while Dave talks about something else. To show, you don't have to say that number, but that's how much I have right now. And I'll show you that'll go down to 0 in a minute. Because it's okay, yes, it's performative of me to do this, whatever. But like the longer I sit on it and hope for it to appreciate, the more expensive each transaction becomes as far as energy and ecological impact. Just like right now, a single transaction could use as much energy as an average household uses in a week.
Really?
Yeah. And that, might vary a little bit coin by coin. Ethereum says they're going to proof of stake rather than proof of work, which is always 2 years in the future. Is just like flying cars until we see it. Anyway, I'm getting rid of it. It was a good run, but I cannot in good conscience continue to rag on cryptocurrency and NFTs every single week and then still hold something here. So
High C has a lot of different flavors, a lot of different editions, a lot of different things going on, ladies and gentlemen. They're also not involved in NFTs and crypto, so there's your connective tissue.
That's good. I was afraid you were going to be like, oh no, is High C doing that?
High C.
Am I going to have to go to...
High C NFTs, broski. Puts on sunglasses.
Oh my god.
Thank you so much, More Like Rigor Mortis, for 17 months
Nice.
of subscription. At 17 months, your sub may be expanding its vocabulary at a rapid pace and maybe using verbs and short sentences, and hand and finger skills are getting better every day.
I love how she does that.
You have no, again, my day job, this is like, that's literally what I live for in these things, and it always makes me really excited that you also equate those to these skills and things. But thank you so much. How are you? welcome. So Ecto Cooler was a flavor created
Oh, that's right.
when the popular animated series for the Ghostbusters came out. Typically, it had a high C. It was the yellow thing, and it just had like a Slimer on it, or one of the
Yep.
Ghostbusters. And then after the show was canceled, Ecto Cooler went away forever
Yeah.
and was not available. They did release a small amount of it to the wild during the promotion of the last Ghostbusters film. But unless
As a
you were,
promotional item, like you do.
yeah, unless you were one of those people that sat on Walmart.com all day, every day, you didn't get any either. Just like my disappointment didn't get any.
Aw.
But Ecto Cooler is returning with gigantic asterisks over
For,
put on top of it.
for a limited promotional time, right?
For a limited promotional time exclusively at promotional events for the film Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Doesn't count.
And even then, it is not going to be widely available at the event, these closed door events for that aren't for the public. Like they're literally not wanting to do Ecto Cooler for some reason. Now, as you can see from my physical shape, I am a fast food connoisseur, and so I go through the Taco Bell rotation of promotional item and promotional item, and damn do I gobble that crap up. But it hurts my feels when you take my favorite stuffs away. Give me it back. Gigi, have you heard about Neopets NFT controversy? Dude Icarus posting Burger King NFTs?
Yeah, I open up my Burger King app today to grab, a meal on the way, and the first thing I see is, like, flame broiled with a side of crypto, and I just send that to our group chat, and I'm like, dear fucking God.
Gigi, I'm going to have to ask you to embellish. First of all, welcome. I'm going to have to ask you to embellish a little bit on the Neopets NFT, because I will admit, I had a Neopet. I also didn't have a computer at my own house, so I logged into neopets.com at my friend's house, and then proceeded to never access that account ever again. I would not be able to even begin to find it ever again. I sincerely apologize to that Neopet, and I hope you have found better owners than young myself. Did you ever have a Neopet?
When it first came out, yes, I zero. When Neopets first came out, and it was just a fun little flash thing that you could do, and there was probably a way to spend money on it, but I was, I don't know, 12. Like, me and my sister played with Neopets and did, the games and stuff that you could do on their flash site at the start, and that was it. I have no memory about what pets I had or anything like that.
Steve, did you ever play Neopets? I was going to say, Steve's a youngin'. Webkins.
Oh, man.
There's a term I haven't heard in many years.
Dude Icarus saying, I'd gotten the Burger King food, never went for the crypto. I should still have the email. Yeah, it emails you a thing for, like, I think the Robinhood crypto is a relatively new thing, and they partnered with,
How?
Yeah, so
How
just
do you-
delete it. Just go away.
How?
Because, again, the amount of energy and the cost and stuff to process that transaction is much more than the few cents that you're getting.
You know what, Burger King? You're not allowed to sponsor the Weekend Wednesday anymore. That's right.
I would yeet this, except that it's still full of soda.
Gigi, spilling some news for us here in chat. Neopets was bought out years ago by a company called Jumpstart. Their parent company, NetDragon, made a deal to randomly generate NFTs for cash.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Oh, NetDragon. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that rings a bell? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that makes total sense. Because I saw NetDragon starts making NFTs, and I saw what could have been a Neopet.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, oh,
it's a thing.
it's a 2D picture of a mammal.
Like, when most NFTs look awful. Like, this week I've seen some really good burns of someone being like, someone had set the image of their NFT as their Twitter profile pic. So someone like trolls them and is like, hey, due to how the internet works, Twitter sent me your NFT JPEG, and now it's on my computer. And they're like, what? How could Twitter do this? Since when is this a thing? Since 1989, how the internet works. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, the thing that you own isn't the picture. It's a hyperlink to a picture. The picture is still something anyone can save and keep and whatever.
Oh God!
I didn't know that. It's just, oh my God.
That's so good. That's so good.
So much.
I love when people get what's coming to them.
Anything else to add for today's show?
Are we that overtime at this
We're
point?
not. We're not. We're
Okay.
not. We're,
No, 'cause
we're
I don't wanna-
slightly over time. I don't necessarily want to end on being angry about something, which is why I'm also not going with my last topic.
So I see
That's getting tabled.
that Gigi is going into a little bit of detail, and while Gigi's doing that, I'll buy a little time by talking about what do Nintendo, der Bowser, and the FBI have in common.
One raunchy night in 1983.
You know, other than that, Team Executor is a hacking group that sold software and hardware for stuff like Nintendo properties and things like that.
Okay.
And Nintendo, as we know, doesn't like when people play with their toys not on their terms. So they went after this particular gentleman. Hang on, let me find his name. Gary Bowser was arrested by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in conjunction with Nintendo, helping them track things to take down and Team Executioner is advertised and traffic circumvention devices while they maintain a direct contact with sellers all over the world. So they steal people's intellectual properties, copyrighted material, this and that and the other, and then they put it together in packages, Raspberry Pis, what have you, and they would sell them to distributors around the world. The FBI knows there are 12 operators. They have now gotten 2 of them, and of course, one of them was named Bowser. Ba-bam!
Right!
High five! Yeah,
Right!
baby!
I did see that.
We got him!
Oh my God.
I am super excited that these people are getting caught because stop making Nintendo crotchety. I want more nice Nintendo things.
Yeah,
and it
like
won't happen.
sometimes it's like, wow, Nintendo's kind of being a dick about this. Other times it's like Nintendo is defending their intellectual property because y'all are being D-bags.
So it's just very funny to me, the idea that like the same people that said we would like to play were then sitting in the Federal Bureau of Investigation, handing them documentation and things like that, getting all these things done. And my God, is it so sweet to watch these people get caught for stuff like that.
Yeah.
I will table that YouTube is giving itself a facelift to try to compete with Twitch's engagement with their community on live streaming.
Okay.
I'll have a link to that, and I'll talk a little bit about it on the tabled topics right down below on the Discord.
Following up on what Gigi is saying, talking about the controversy with Neopets and such, the software they're using is probably fan-made. Great. The person running the Neopets metaverse is extremely unprofessional. It's really disorganized, and the staff running the site thought it was a scam. The player base is giving a huge amount of backlash, but it's probably still going to happen. And Gigi recommends Pet Simmer Julie on YouTube for more information. So if you are watching after the fact and not seeing chat, whatever, Pet Simmer Julie has more on Neopets.
Check that out
NFT.
if you're a Neopets current. If you currently go on Neopets at all in a calendar year, check it out now. Get some information. See what you can do to help make a little bit of a ruckus.
Yep. In the meantime, I think that's it for Nerd Glasses today.
You know, there's so much more we could talk about, but I feel like there's something going on after Nerd Glasses.
There, in fact, is. On The Citadel, my solo streaming show after this, we play games that are not great, not awful, but somewhere in between. And today we are going to be playing Tom Clancy's Hawks, which is I hesitate to say flight sim because it's so arcadey, whatever. I played it a few times, but it's been a while since I played it. It's fun. You fly around in licensed planes, F-35.
It's a really fun game.
It's fun. It's going to be a good time. The plot's going to be a little, oh, that's odd. Apparently, some of the plot intersects with Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare 2, But
Makes sense.
that era of Tom Clancy games. Also, when I was going to type it in, instead of Tom Clancy's Hawks, I almost wrote in Tony Hawk Hawks. Tony Hawk
Pro Hawks.
Tony Hawks. Done.
Good night.
Good night. And remember, kids, if one of your friends tries to talk to you about NFTs, just remember that NFT stands for no fucking thanks. Good night, everybody.